Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
I'm kidding.
Making them wait a little bit more.
Guys, big news here in the Tape Never Lies Network. We're learning as we go, Shane. I'm going to try to put a little beat. What's up, everybody? This is the Tape Never Lies Network. I'm your guy, Draft Dr. Phil from the Tape Never Lies. Draft Dr. Phil's Tape Never Lies. With my partner in crime tonight, Shane Marsaw, the Tape Never Lies Network. We had to go live because we got a special announcement, obviously, that we think is so important that we include you, the fan, as well as us, and have this conversation, almost like a town hall, if you will. So without further ado, let me bring my partner in, because there is never any script here, Shane.
That's right.
Go live. We're gonna do it live. Bears are 4-1. The Tape Never Lies Network. How old are we now?
We're old enough. We're old enough to be kicking ass and taking names, Phil.
So really, the real root of this, before we bring our guests on a little bit, is really to talk to you, the fan. We've listened to you, we've heard you, and we've seen all of the feedback and the numbers. And you know me with numbers, Shane. I don't care about the number, I just want to watch the tape. But when Shane's like, Phil, these numbers have to do with us. These are the ones that matter. And your voices, in regards to that, are telling us, hey, you guys are something special. We've been telling you about moving to Patreon and having the network and certain shows and the tape and all of that go to Patreon. And that's really why we're here tonight, because we're announcing our patronage. And we are also announcing, because of you, the fan, that we're not going to put Bears Hour Live behind the Patreon wall. We saw the numbers, we see you, and we said, the numbers don't lie here for the first time. When it comes to this, that we really got to take, into heart you, the fan, and build this thing the right way. We sat down with Shane, myself, and Jim Larrison and really thought about this, and then social media crew, and you're having 12,000 views on a Bears post-game show that we realize is the best Bears coverage out there. I say that truthfully in recognizing this. You, the fan, are telling us that. You can agree, disagree, or whatever. At the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. You, me, and Shane, I can't appreciate, I'm like humbled by this. So I said to Shane and Jim, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable taking this away from these fans and saying, hey, now you're going to have to pay for this. And really, ultimately, that's where we've gotten to. And really, when you say the tape doesn't lie, you guys don't lie. Yeah. So Shane, I mean, that's where we are. I mean, you have stats and all of these.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Phil and I, this has been a really, really long journey to get to this point for you guys. I think everybody that's in the chat room tonight knows what we do. Yeah, has there been some hiccups along the way? Yeah, we're learning this. This is a process, just like anything is. But after this, one thing I want to put out there too, guys, this isn't a Bears news show tonight. We're not gonna break anything down, talk about the upcoming game. This is strictly to share with you guys, the 100 crew, how we're gonna go about this with Patreon. Phil took you behind the curtain a little bit already. Patreon is open. It's live. If you look here at the bottom of the screen, you can go to the tapeneverlies.com, and that will link you directly to the Patreon page where you can sign up and get
take
things.
donations. Yes.
Yep.
Guys, I gotta say, I'm sorry to cut you off. You know, this might Italian side. I asked 40 people that I felt personally have helped me do the Tape Never Lies, support me through everything from the transitions to my hiccups to whatever the case may be. Those of you know who you are. I've sent you a private invite before it even opened. People were signing up prior to it being open. And really, that's when you say, hey, I already know I can rub somebody the wrong way that they don't know me. But people that do know me know I know Shane. I know the Sandlins. I know Claudio. These are family. I know the Shy City guys that are supporting us. I know what we're bringing to the table doesn't lie. It's the best coverage out there. So when I say that, I mean it. Like, you all see it, and people that are fanatics love it, and they share it. We had a guy tell me a story, Shane. I'm sorry. He's like, I'm in my cubicle, and I hear your voice in the other cubicle. I look up. I said, what are you doing? I'm quoting now, paraphrase. It's like, I'm watching the Tape Never Lies. You ever seen this guy? He's like, do I see this guy? You got to find. And that's word of mouth. And it's humbling. Really, we're taking the time out tonight to get all of the business stuff out of the way, because Wednesday night we're going to be live breaking down this 4-1 football team like nobody else does it, with the laughs, the music, all of that stuff. But we want to get the patronage stuff out of the way. And really, the big thing, Shane, was Bears Hour Live and saying the growth of this network. Obviously, the Tape Never Lies is what it is. Other network, all the bullshit, all the minutia, all the stuff that we're going to bring to the table. The Tape Never Lies, my video series, was the sauce. It is what it is. You don't like it? You have all these little fucking blog boys trying to do tape study now and do this, but you people know. You people know what's the best and what is true and what is real analysis. What I got coaches commenting to me because of what these guys bring to the table, what the tape brings to the table, what our show brings to the table. We're not always going to agree. Just like we're not going to agree on music, Biggie or Pac, or politics, or whatever, or football. But we're going to have fun doing it. That's what passion, honesty, and integrity is on this network. There's no lies, deceit, nothing, no bullshit behind the scenes, no I told you so, gossip. Everything is straightforward. And that's why I said to Shane, and literally he was thinking the same thing, right? There's no way we should remove Bears Hour Live from people that are just A, learning about the show and who we are, and B, those loyal fans that maybe during COVID and everything like that need that sanctimonious place, whether it be winning or losing. Jim asked me, he said, Phil, do you see more viewers when they lose or when they win? I go, I see more viewers every week. It doesn't matter. Because of the passion that the fans have and the passion that I know Shane and I bring to the table. And listen, I always ask the question, if it quacks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it is a duck, right? So when you see the tape and you're like, yo, that shit is awesome. That's why I used to get pissed off at the old network. How are you going to come at me when I've broken down this fucking tape and then you're questioning whether or not Leno's good or not on a show? Who does that? That's like taking your prize quarterback, putting him out there, and not giving him an offensive line and asking him to do well. It's not going to happen. So you can't question people's football acumen, then champion them at the same time. We don't do that here. Shane Marceau and I agree on probably 94, 95% of Chicago Bears things. And if we don't agree, we have it out right here with you. And if you don't agree, no one gets a pass. We confront it here, just like we're doing tonight with Patreon. It's open. Tape Never Lies Network. Humbled by the subscription. Shane, you have some numbers there that I think we'll share.
Yeah, it just speaks to our growth, Phil, and I don't know, it's hard to even speak on because it's so mind-blowing from where we've come from. And, Phil and I invest so much time and effort into this, but we enjoy it all. We enjoy what we provide for you guys. But when we see these numbers, the way that it's blowing up, and I'll just read a couple of them to you here. Just over the past 28 days, there's been 2.6 million minutes viewed of our content. And I'll put a little thing down here on the bottom line that you guys can read it. 2,567,587 minutes watched the last 28 days. That's 43,000 hours, or equal to 5 years of viewing for a single viewer. You break it down that way, and it's just, we've gained over 5,000 subscribers on our YouTube page the past 28 days. We were told that an aggressive number for us to shoot for would be 2,000 subscribers by April of 2021. We blew that out of the water. We should be hitting 7,000 here soon. So we couldn't do any of this without you guys.
Right. We're not here to pat ourselves on the back. We're here to pat you on the back.
Absolutely.
Because really, you guys are the ones that's sharing. There's a lot of people imitating and duplicating and trying to do the same kind of shit. And it's unfortunate. But with a fan base as loyal as the 100 Crew and people that are just learning, hey, I just figured out you guys are here. They didn't even know we're on a new network. Then that's the important thing, that we continue to bring you guys the best content and creativity. Those two things separate what Shane and I and all of our team of people bring to the table. I know that firsthand. Everyone could try to copy, and believe me, they do. You see it. You guys have shared it with me, so you know. So as we go to Patreon, though, there's going to be so much that we're going to offer those of you that subscribe to patronage, which over 50 of you have already, without even tonight.
Before we even announced, right?
Before we even announced it, we are going to take care of you. We're also announcing, and I'm sure when our guest arrives, he's going to break some of this stuff down. $7 a month for a subscription, for the charter subscription. So we're going to say tonight, and we're going to bring our guest on now in a minute. But I'll say this. Should I wait for the guest to say that, or should I?
Yeah, you can. Everybody wants to see who it is and what we're going to be talking about.
This is a monumental occasion for me personally, and for Shane personally, because this guest, let me say, the introduction is what we talk about, our creativity. That left. Yeah. That came here.
Custom Sausage has a question right there, Phil. Look at the bottom. Look at the bottom of your screen.
Right there on the bottom. The tapeneverlies.com is going to take you right there. Once you become a patronage member, you're going to get updates, audio, podcasts, special pop-up shows, all of the Tape Never Lies. That's the one thing we're going to clear up now. We're going to bring on our guest in the only way we know how, and that's the Draft Dr. Phil and Shane Marsaw way. So I hope you're paying attention, because this is well deserved.
Sometimes a guy comes into your life and you know instantly what the meaning of true leadership, raw honesty, and most importantly, true friendship is. This guy embodies all of that. 100 Crew making his Tape Never Lies Network debut. The originator of the rub route, the Tape Never Lies 5 technique. Everyone please stand up and give it up for, he's not my Yoko, he's not your Yoko, he's our Yoko. Give it up for Jim motherfucking Larrison.
Dude,
Look at that guy.
What a great intro. That's the best intro I've ever had in my life.
And where's your sunglasses, Jim?
We were hoping you'd wear your shades.
Those were at
Ladies
the
and
dentist's
gentlemen.
office. I don't have those for real.
Backstory behind those shades. Jim sends us a picture of himself, literally an emergency dental surgery, and Shane takes it and makes it Yoko and all of that stuff.
At least I got
Jim,
this out of it.
There you go.
hopefully you didn't take one before your inaugural appearance. We've known you for years. You were our friend and brother, and then became our business manager, and now you're here tonight to help clarify some of this stuff to our loyal fans who are either listening on the podcast version of this on Deezer, iTunes, the whole nine, or you're watching live or later in the night watching this, a special announcement. Breaking news, Jim. We're going Patreon.
Breaking. Yeah, all I add is, unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch the beginning of the show. I was stuck on a phone call, but I will say that the last 6 months has been very interesting. I was involved in, you guys brought me in to help, what would I say, sort of negotiate a good partnership with your old partner, let's say. Yeah. And that didn't go well. We tried hard. We actually spent many, many hours, many calls. I would say from my many years in business, these negotiations were probably the most fair conversations I've had, one-way fair. And it didn't work out. And I think, as you probably have pointed out, it's worked to our advantage because you guys have actually done a great job of, within a very short period of time, building an amazing following. And as everyone said, every number that I heard when I was talking to people in the industry of what we should expect sort of going out on your own, you guys have blown away. And it continues every week, right? I know you talked about last week, we had a call with Johnny Fairplay from Survivor fame. I've had many conversations with folks that are running Patreon programs, and their sort of constant feedback is you have to be patient and you're going to build an audience, but it's going to take time. It's going to take a long time. And I think that's true, but it's clear that you guys are onto something because the numbers that we were talking about today alone, just in the last 28 days, are really amazing. And so I do want to point out to everyone that isn't involved in the day-to-day of what Shane and Phil are doing. The amount of work that you guys put into this is really amazing to me. It's almost like a full-time job. We would do calls every night and talk in detail about the negotiation and the business terms and the ownership rights and the syndication rights. And we get into details about everything you can imagine. And the amount of sort of thoughtfulness and work that you guys put into this is really unbelievable. And so to me, $7 is a huge discount. It's an amazing price to actually have access to content like this. But I also give you guys a lot of credit for seeing the trends and realizing that, shutting this off to that big audience isn't a good idea right now, because there is a lot of content you guys can provide behind the firewall that's even better than what you have out today. I've seen some of it, right? It's amazing. You guys are both amazing broadcasters. Really, they were making fun of the rub route because I was, Shane was, we were talking this weekend and Shane was laughing because he's like, well, some of our fans probably don't know what a 5 technique is. And I'm like, well, that's me. I don't know any of these things, right? I love football. I love the Bears. I don't know a lot of this stuff, right? So,
right.
and so we, but I think that's the benefit of, and that's why the tape never lies. That programming alone, people love, because it helps people understand what they're seeing and and sort of break it down. And then you're sort of talking about the coaching, and I'll tell you, here's an interesting point. I invited Phil to a game 2 years ago, I guess it was. I'm a season ticket holder at the Bears. And, I loved your show so much. I said, Phil, come out. I'll fly you out here. We'll do a weekend together.
I tried to get in. Jim told me to go fuck myself.
And it was the Tampa game, which we all remember, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there thinking, oh, my God, this is amazing. And the whole time Phil is saying, this coach does not know what he's doing, even though we're winning 38-7. He's like, why is he pulling? I think it was who was the running back?
Howard.
Yeah, Jordan. Why is Jordan Howard sitting on the side? And I'm thinking, wow, this guy, I'm not sure he knows what he's talking about. And then it all came true, basically what you said. So anyway, I wanted to come on just to tell everyone what my experience has been, and also just to give some feedback on Patreon, because I've had a lot of experience with it on both sides. What I'd say is, it's effectively as a way to give a small monthly sort of donation, if you want to call it that, to these guys for all the great content they're putting out and all the enjoyment you get from that. And you obviously get some premium content and you get access to things. But to me, the real benefit is that you're showing them how much you care about what they're doing. And I guarantee you, even hundreds or thousands of people wouldn't make up for the amount of hours and time that they're putting into doing this content. And so it's very simple. Patreon, come on. You can pay through PayPal. You can pay through Stripe. They take a small fee, so not all the money goes to these guys, but it's a good enough amount. And I think, as they mentioned, we set it up in a way so it's low cost. You can actually give more. So if you think, it's worth more than $7, you can go as high as you want. And you can also bring that down. So let's say you had a great month, you want to give them a little bit extra. You can take it up that month and then bring it back down to the $7. The one thing I want to make sure everyone recognizes is the charter membership is sort of like that lifetime membership idea, right? Like, you get in at this low price. I'm sure as we grow, we'll have more tiers. There'll be more content. There'll be more value. But because we want to really recognize the people that have been around and joined now rather than later, you want to be able to give people the access to something now, right? At a price that's really affordable.
I'm laughing at the comment.
Yeah, that's a great comment, Zach. I'd like to
wondering-
find out.
My wife is doing that math too, as she's probably watching. No, but Jim's basically, I'm humbled by that, but the reality is, we've been doing this, built this thing, and then we stepped aside, thankfully, to Jim, which ultimately a lot of you fans said to Shane and myself privately, sometimes good things come from bad situations. You turn the page and you continue to build, and this is where we are now. And really, your $7 is grandfathered in if you sign up before the first of the month. So no matter where our tiers go thereafter, that the draft.
Well, you're gonna
agency coverage, all of this stuff.
It's not the first of this month. We're gonna extend that to December 31st.
That's I meant
charter.
That. First of the year. My bad.
Yeah, first of the year.
First of the year.
If you sign up right now, you become a charter member, and that will be extended through December 31st of 2020. Anybody that signs up before that point is going to be locked in at that $7 price point. That means, Jim and I are big Sirius XM fans, and back in 2006, I jumped into that fray and got a lifetime membership. You really had to make a gamble and pay $400 up front and think to yourself that they're going to survive and they're going to be around, which at that time nobody really did know. So I paid the $400 and I never get a bill anymore. Yeah, but so this way, if you become a charter member by signing up before, all the way until December 31st, that $7 price point is never going to change for you moving forward. If we add more tiers, more content, and bump the price up to, just as an example, to $10 a month, If you're a charter member, you're still going to be at that $7 tier and get everything that is available now, everything that's available in the future. No matter how big or how small, you're going to get everything that we do available to you for the $7 a month.
Yeah, and I'll mention a couple of sort of housekeeping things. The way Patreon, we set up Patreon because there isn't a lot of content yet. Is when you sign up today, you don't get charged today. The charge starts at the beginning of every month. So you sign up now, you don't have any risk. Like if you decide at the end of the month it's not worth it, you can opt out. You can do that any month actually, and it just pay for month to month. They don't have any annual subscriptions or anything like that right now. So that's important to note. The other thing to note is the Patreon has an app you can download. That Patreon app, when you log in and you are part of the Tape Never Lies network, you'll see all the content in that feed. So you go in the app and you can see all the free content, all the firewalled content, audio. The other thing for anyone that listens on a podcast like myself, you'll get a URL to put into your podcast listening app. When you drop that in, it will automatically download the show. You don't have to do anything. You just drop that URL in. Every time there's a new show, it will show up in your podcast app. And as long as you're a member, it will always show up there. And then finally, there's a Facebook group. The Facebook group will be for Patreon members. This is the best way to message with people, because though the Patreon app itself has it, most people are more used to using Facebook. So most Patreon programs set up a private Facebook group, and then they message through that.
We're going to have a private Facebook group. I've picked out a couple admins already from our social media team. Once you become a Patreon, like those of you that have already signed up before we even made this announcement tonight, you will then be invited into the Patreon Facebook group, which will be private, and you'll get other live material, Q&As, and really, I got to say this to be clear.
Right here, Phil, speak on this. This is something that you and I have talked about. It's up. I put the comment up there.
Well, that's another part of this.
Yeah.
I won't skip her. Thank you, Thunder Girl 80. Our plans are to have one live game with Phil and Shayne and Claudio and Carr, whoever, from the cast of characters, and Patreon members will watch the game with us live. So that's one of the things, one of the extras that $7 gets you. You'll be able to see what Jim saw live with me. Well, also, once we get COVID out, we will schedule once a season, or depending on how far this goes, a tailgate, a Tape Never Lies Network tailgate. And that'll be obviously big. And
we talked, the other thing you guys talked about, I mean, I'll say there are no limit on great ideas that these guys have been working on. The other thing I'd mention is the idea that when the game is close at the end, to potentially go live.
Every time it's close, we're going to go BHL live for patronage, people only. Obviously, BHL, we've announced, if you're just tuning in, that is not going to go behind the paywall. That is going to stay like keeping it 100. We're going to continue to build you guys and everybody along with us. And that's what we're going to do. The tape never lies, though. I want to clear this up, Jim and Shayne. The video series, Draft Dr. Phil's Tape Never Lies, the full, I do 30 minutes of breakdown and analysis, and then I give you an extra focused microscope on a player of your choosing and yada, yada, yada. That is going to be cut down to 10 minutes for free, and only Patreon.
Approximately 10. It's not going to be a standard
in that
10.
area. Yeah. Whatever my creative brain said, it could be 11 minutes and 42 seconds free. And then the rest, the whole full Monty, is going behind the patronage side. That'll be uploaded specifically to you. The Facebook page will have the Tape Never Lies there. as well. And then we're going to do a live Tape Never Lies where we take 2 or 3 plays with Shane or my dad, and we're going to go live and we're going to break it down live with you, asking the questions for a full hour, breaking down critical, like the Kyle Fuller play would be a momentum changing play, right? The Jimmy Graham touchdown catch this past weekend. Oh, by the way, the Tape Never Lies will be out Wednesday or tomorrow. Depending on when we get this commercial, and I got to produce a commercial to put in it about Patreon to explain all this stuff. We're going live to handle that, but that's it. Any questions, please, Shane, throw them up here. I know some people, if you don't like Facebook, you're going to just use it for that private group.
Yeah, you don't have to get
You can use the Patreon app too. It will all funnel into the same
Right.
place.
Exactly.
And we also have an email set up. So there's multiple points of contact.
Yeah, if
You
you don't
will
want to
see-
use Facebook and listen to your crazy ass aunt bothering you, you don't have to. You can do it right through the Patreon app.
Oh my God. So did I cover all of that? So the Draft Dr.
Yeah.
Phil's Tape Never Lies condensed on our YouTube subscription. On that, I'll continue to say, hey, you want more of Draft Dr. Phil's analysis and teaching? Sign up for $7 to the Patreon channel for the whole thing each and every week. That'll clarify that. All of the content, we're still not done. We haven't even gotten to do music and all this other stuff because, like Jim said, it's always going in different directions of creativity. So I really,
But
Mike
we know
likes
there's
it,
going to be
it's
negatives to this. Mike says it's too long. That's fine, Mike. We understand that. It's not for you. I think that there's probably 15 other people that disagree with you.
longer.
150 other people. Yeah, they want it longer. And if you don't want to watch all 30 minutes, there's a fast forward button, or you don't have to watch. Skip around to what you do want to watch. But
It
is what it is.
You can't
Yeah.
please everybody. I'm not
That's
here
right.
to please. I'm here to produce and have fun and laugh.
When
That's
does the
what-
Patreon start, Phil? Heisenberg, welcome to the show. We're open,
He's late.
baby.
He's late.
Yeah,
Right here.
tapeneverlies.com, Heisenberg.
Eisenberg, tapeneverlies.com. Just rewind, Jim. Bears Hour Live is not going to the Patreon side. So
Not yet.
Tape Never
Not
Lies
this season.
Network, YouTube channel, the numbers, all of that stuff Shane went over. I'm just recapping. We're going to continue this, and for $7, you're going to get a more focused Tape Never Lies video series, pop-up shows, Q&As, live every week it seems, Jim. The Chicago Bears are coming down to the wire giving me agita. So
Yeah.
the last 2 minutes, if you're a patronage person, Shane and I are going to go live via that Facebook private group with Patreons only, and a YouTube link that you'll get. So Patreons only will get, correct?
Yeah. So that's one. Yeah. The last nuance on this is the Patreon live streaming. You will get a separate link when they go live for anything that's not sort of public. That link will be unlisted. You can still go to it, but you'll get that alert through the Patreon app, and you'll get the alert through Facebook if you have the Facebook app. And you'll click on that, and it'll take you to the live stream that will be just the Patreon members.
And Jim, speak on this too. Ron Rupp, now a guy that's been with us for a long time. I know you touched on it, but just touch on it one more time.
Yeah.
Can he download the show like a podcast?
Yeah, so Ron, and the way you would do that is in your app. If you use the iTunes app, Overcast, any of the apps, they'll let you subscribe to an unlisted program. So when you go into your Patreon app or the website, you don't have to download the app. You could go to patreon.com. When you log in, you will see in your settings a URL that you import into your podcast app. That URL will be a show. It will show up as the Patreon version of Tape Never Lies or Patreon version of Bears Hour Live or whatever the name is automatically. just like every other podcast you have. It will download those shows. You will only have access to that, no one else. But it will do it automatically like any other podcast that you subscribe to.
And you can cancel at any time. Those of you just tuning in, the monthly charge doesn't start till the first of every month. So essentially, we're starting now. Next week will be the transition over for the tape, the video series, and the pop-up shows, and the extras are going to be happening after the Carolina game. All of that, the tape never lies, will be condensed on the YouTube channel. Patronage, you guys will have the full enchilada, if you will speak, if you will. And then there'll be a focused one as well on one particular player, and we'll get into that more as we go through with more creative. We'll have Zoom calls or
Q&A, off
Q&A.
season. There's a bunch of stuff.
Phil, this is important too because we have not mentioned it. Picardin put, if you're not a Patreon, I think he meant member, you won't get anything but BHL, and that's not true. We're still going to have our Keeping It 100 show is going to be every single Wednesday night, brought to you by Shy City Sports. We're still going to be there with that. So we're still going to be providing you guys a ton of content for free each and every week.
BHL is not a part of Patreon and Cardin. So that's going to be free. That'll be after every Bears game. We were up to 2 a.m. Listen, I'm humbled by the viewers.
Absolutely.
The numbers don't lie. I mean, you go over to the YouTube channel. I went on Sean and Maya, and Sean, great dude, great friend, brings me on the show. We talk Bears. Shane records it, puts it on the YouTube channel. It's got over 5,000 or 4,000 views. We got Bears Hour Live, almost 12,000 views. We've never had a show beat my video series. And right now, Bears Hour Live versus the Bucks. By the way, till 2 a.m, Shane and I, he's getting up to work and deliver the mail the next day. These are the things that we do. We have other jobs, but we love this. I'm not going to lie to anybody and say, hey, I don't love doing this. I do love doing it, but it does take away time from your family. I mean, tonight at dinner, I'm cutting tape of the Bucks game.
You're cutting tape while we were in the pre-show.
You guys, I was cutting the tape, listening to them, just to get it ready so it's ready to go, because I know some of you guys are dying to see the tape never lies from last week. So we also, obviously, not talking football tonight. This is a business. We got a businessman, our manager, if you haven't seen, Jim Larrison, in the house tonight to break this all down. And Jim, really, all of the work and all of the time and all of the energy to get to this point and really say, hey, Bears Hour Live, no patronage. We're going to keep that free with Keeping It 100. And then we're going to make some other creative moves to bring this fan base the best and really ultimately get you, cover the Bears like nobody else, really.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. I think you guys have done a great job, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm subscribed already myself.
So there's another one. Jamie Briggs said, what app do I download for Patreon? You just download the Patreon app. You download the app.
The App Store. It's Android. There's an Android app for Android phones. There's a Google or an iPhone app. There's a desktop app. There's a website. Most people just use the app. It really only provides you access to the content. You can also go to the Facebook.
It's Patreon.
Yeah.
There it
right,
is.
With an E.
There it is.
Yeah.
So look for that. Patreon.
I guess I'm echoing on Jim's side.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna have to jump anyway, so I'm gonna let you guys keep going. But I got other things to do, unfortunately.
You're always making business moves. Well, what are some final thoughts, Jim, before you leave?
My final listen. The same thing I said. I'm amazed at the amount of time and effort you guys put into it. I've always been a huge fan, and I would say that I had no idea how much was going behind the scenes and how much you guys really put into this, but it shows in the content that comes out. So I would be a strong supporter for anyone to put some money behind these guys. They've really put their blood, sweat, and tears into this.
Can't say any better than that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jim.
All right. I will talk to you guys soon.
If I renew my vows, will you speak at my wedding?
Of course, I'm a minister
You are?
at the Universal Life Church. I'm an ordained minister.
I did not know this.
Yes.
Can we
You
baptize?
really-
Can we baptize Braggs live on air?
Circumcisions. I can do.
We can
Divorces.
circumcise Braggs and everything live on air. Jeez, you better sign up for Patreon. We're gonna have we just got some more content.
You know we're going to have a lot of fun on this network. Jim, I'm just learning that you're a minister now. So you could do the renew of my vows then.
Yeah, and as long as it's not in Virginia or Hawaii, I can do it anywhere else.
I was pushing for Hawaii, but I'll take Jamaica.
We're not going to Virginia.
Could we go to Jamaica, Jim?
Sure, Jamaica works.
There
All right,
you
I got to
go.
jump.
All right,
All
later,
right,
Jim.
brother.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you so much for coming on the Tape Never Lies Network. If those of you are just coming in, we're announcing, as you could see on the bottom scroll, head over to the tapeneverlies.com, become a patronage member, a charter member. Just to rehash some of that, I'm going to take any questions you have right now, throw them in the chat, throw them at us anywhere you live, whatever you want. Yes, we're going to do a tailgate. Obviously, the COVID is down. You're a patronage member.
We're supposed to be
Shane,
heading to Nashville, but that
we were going to head to Nashville, but that's out. COVID is real. But next year or in the off season, depends on what's COVID. We could do a draft party, a Tape Never Lies draft party.
Man.
The draft coverage, I know Shane and I have sat down into the night to talk about this and adding cars to the equation, more of an analytics numbers guy that does tape study too, and his countering mine and Shane's is going to be something to be seen. Obviously, the guest that we're going to bring on, actually, I'm going to announce a guest this week on Keeping It 100, Shane.
let her rip.
Wednesday night, we're going to have Brett Maley from History Channel's Porn Stars, huge Bears fanatic and a huge fan of Shane and myself. Going to be breaking down some of the prop bets, a lot of stuff. He breaking down the Bears and the move. He's been with us since the beginning. Great guy, fun guy. He was on one time and he had audio issues. It won't happen again. We will have a Tape Never Lie. Andy Wurst reading my notes next season. The Tape Never Lies Network Fantasy Football League. We're gonna make Shane play.
I play daily. I do.
Well, this is how I decided he's going to do it. Every guy on the network is going to get a fan, a patron with him. So we're gonna draft together, and this way you're included and you can help Shane, and we'll go like that. And then if you want to be by yourself in the league, that's fine too. But if you want to draft with Shane, that's next year. So yes, Andy.
I just want Cherie as my fantasy partner.
We're thinking about doing a Madden football challenge, draft Dr. Phil or Shane if you have Xbox. So me would be the PS4.
5. You got to upgrade, Phil.
Yeah.
We're on Patreon
If we
now.
get enough
Big money.
Patreon, I got to pay for a fridge that died. Oh, my don't. All of a sudden, you have all these kids, Shane. Your fridge goes, your life goes. All that
happens.
food. Oh, my God. So anyway, we had to buy a fridge. Anyway, that's my own. I'll talk about that on Keeping It 100. Wednesday night, Keeping It 100. Tonight, all business. We're not talking the Walrus. We're not talking Greg's internet connection tonight. We're not talking anything. Matt Nagy, all of that.
None of that tonight. None of that today.
We're going to have a lot of fun, though. You already see, if you're a fan of either Keeping It 100 or Bears Hour Live, you already know what fun we have in breaking and passion that we have for this football team. But with this move here, I'm just trying to keep it 100 so everybody knows what's going on and really breaking the news that the network is open. Since we've been broadcasting, Shane, we've gone how many subscribers already?
We are up. Let me see here, Phil.
So when I looked this afternoon, there was 51.
Yep, and now we
Prior to
are at
broadcasting.
Marty Booker subscriptions.
86?
86
So
right
86 new, well, that's really not true. But they all are new subscribers, so no one should go unnoticed. 86. I honestly thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I know I've never begged for anything. All I ask is that after all of these years of covering this team like nobody else does, with music, hip-hop, video footage to prove a point, it really started when I just saw so many people out there not knowing the game of football, and a lot of voices that don't have blue check marks, that are fans, getting treated like shit by those blue check marks and being talked down to. And I said, enough is enough. Let's put the money where the tape is. And that's where the Tape Never Lies began, fighting with people on Twitter and the whole nine. Then I got overwhelmed and came back even better than ever. So you can take any shot you want at me. The reality is the product speaks for itself. I know what you're gonna get.
That's one thing you're gonna get with Phil and I here at this network. You will see it in the comments on YouTube. You'll see it in comments here.
We don't back down from.
I killed a guy named Swanky live on air where we used to be. We don't back down. We're not afraid to speak the truth. Like it says, when it comes to the off season, anything draft, we will give you our truth. If we're wrong, we will readily admit it. We're not going to sit here and try to blow smoke and come up with excuses why we were right, wrong, or indifferent. It happens. None of football is an exact science. For the off season, for regular season, football is a fickle game. It's a game of inches. Lots of people are right. Lots of people are wrong. Lots of people are lucky. One thing you're never going to have to worry about here is Phil and I bullshitting you guys, trying to say things to get you to listen to us. We're going to give you the honest truth of what we think each and every time. We're never going to change. We've had a handful of people in the YouTube comments saying that we're immature little kids that like to swear, and that's the only reason we think we're cool. And if you don't like swearing, don't fucking listen. I don't know what to tell you. We're not going to change.
This isn't the show for you. Listen, I don't have any problem with anybody. The only problem on line I draw, I told Shane this, if you're a racist, if you're a fucking racist person, just don't even sign up. I don't have any patience for that. Anything else, ignorance, I get it. People are raised to believe certain things, and I've seen people grow. Not to make this anything other than the reality of the truth. You're signing up to our network, our channel, we're going to bust our ass to bring the quality content forever.
We're busting our asses for free. You don't think we're going to do it now?
Exactly. Yeah. And those comments, people, a person gave $20 a month. I was so humble. He's like, you have given me and my life purpose.
Oh my God.
For what you've done.
Chubbs, listen.
Don't talk any football tonight.
I gotta say it because I love Chubb's game. Listen.
Patreon starts right now, Shizio.
I gotta say it. Chubbs, I said that I didn't like the signing. I said that he would be a monster in the red zone. And I was right. Still don't like the signing. Whatever it is.
I love the signing, and I was right. So
exactly. So that's fine.
But that's what we do here.
Exactly.
And when Shane,
not afraid to admit stuff.
When anybody gets something wrong, like I was a huge Johnny Manziel fan. I was wrong about that.
I tried saving him. Saving him.
The talent was there. What happened up here? That's football. That's life. And you guys, I know I'm batting in the 90s out of 100. So that's where I go. I'm not afraid.
Batting in the 90s ain't great, Phil.
Well, out of 100,
I hear you. I hear you.
Right. But that's where we're going to go. And if I didn't, believe me, with the amount of people that love to hate, we would hear about it because they do anyway. So anyway, yes, there's going to be merch. Patronage starts right now. Next week, all of the stuff will be starting on Patreon and extra shows, pop-up shows, question and answers. You guys, some people are embarrassed to ask a question with, 1,400 people live after a Bears win. That's fine. Patreon gives you the opportunity to be one-on-one, talk about it, and really get it involved, in-depth. Zoom call with patronage, people only, all of this stuff that we have planned. Draft coverage, free agency coverage, video analysis to go along with that. You can download every show that you have. You'll have the Patreon app. It'll come right to the website that only you have. And you'll be able to get that for yourself and watch the full Tape Never Lies and comment on it. They'll be invited to a private Facebook page that only patronage members. Oh, by the way, so I don't forget, we're taking creative names for next week. So you got a week to come up with a name. Like Josh E. came up with the 100 Crew that are fans of the Tape Never Lies, tape heads. Facebook, your patronage page is going to need a name. Or is it going to be a group? Jeremy Plashinsky is all about Facebook. I don't get it. Page or group? I think it's going to be a group. So it's going to be a private Facebook group that's going to allow you to converse and comment, add things about the show that you liked or didn't like, converse with me and Shane, and all of the videos and all of that stuff will go up there. Audio versions you'll be able to download with the URL into whatever Podbean, whatever you have. You'll just put your URL in, and our show, whenever it's uploaded and you didn't watch it live, you'll be able to download it or listen to it, stream it, whatever, whenever you guys want. So every show, live in-person shows coming. Everything you want, everybody, it's going to be there. Merch, I was talking about that, is coming. We have a whole merch team. So you want to tune in to Keeping It 100 because we're going to have a nice commercial that we've produced. Actually, our social media team.
It's pretty great, yeah.
Has produced a nice commercial, the inaugural Patreon swag shop. But even if you're not a Patreon, you can buy some merch and support us. You also, it is a group. Thank you, Jeremy. It is a group. I always mess this up. Jeremy will be an admin taking people and allowing you in the gates of glory, Shane, of the private Facebook.
But Phil, let's go through this. So I know there's been people that are just tuning in.
People are just catching it.
This is us announcing the portion of what we do that is going Patreon. If you head over, if you look at the bottom of your screen to thetapeneverlies.com, that will link you directly to the Tape Never Lies Patreon page. And once you get there, I'll show you actually exactly what it will look like when you want to sign up, if I can get my computer to grab it here for me. Once you get there, it'll be here. You'll select your membership level. Right now, there's only one, $7 per month. Then you'll hit join right there. If you sign up before December 31st, 2020, you're going to be considered a charter member. What will a charter member get? A charter member is essentially going to be a lifetime subscription. It's going to lock you in. It's going to lock you in at that $7 price point. If you want to donate more every month, you can. If you want to, like Jim said, if you feel that, hey, these guys deserve more, we're not going to stop you from doing that, but then you can always back it back up. It's always going to be the $7. If you sign up after December 31st for what we do, when the price goes up in time, you're going to be paying that price. If it moves up to, say, $10 a month, that's going to be your price. If you're a charter member, you're never moving off that $7 a month. It's going to be that. No, if we add 15 more shows, a charter member is never going to be paying more per month than that $7. So that's that's a way that we want to drive you guys into getting on that charter membership right now. Like I said, I would love to hit that 100 subscription number tonight. We are currently
where are we at?
At 89. We're at 89. So Ryan Wet Night, Mike Ditka.
How did I go Wet Night over Ditka?
Well,
someone's gonna be mad at me.
Thinking about your teenage days there.
People have wanted. Listen, people have signed up before we even announced this tonight. I said at the top of the show, I can't thank people enough for their support. I honestly am not begging, but Jim explained it earlier. If you haven't seen it, this show will be up on our YouTube channel. You can watch it then.
BRD, look at the bottom of your screen. Go to the tapeneverlies.com. That'll link you directly to the Tape Never Lies Patreon page.
You will not
sign up
reach
process is
Pete
very
Tuccio
easy.
Just did it. I'm sure if we brought Pete on, he could explain how easy it was to do it. You could pay via PayPal or Strike. What is it? Strike? I don't know. One of those European things. People want to know, can you pay PayPal? Yes, you can. I totally appreciate you, M. Taylor, for signing up live on the air with us, Pete and M. Taylor, right now. You saw all of that. Well, I was just saying, I was so humbled because some people, like my boy, the coach from Virginia, Coach Eric, he gave us $10 because he's like, $7, I feel like I'm stealing from you because of the amount of content you've given.
And that's the
you
thing.
Guys
We're not,
are like,
yeah,
whoa,
we're not even
like,
asking.
wow.
We understand everybody. Some people can give more, some can't. We totally understand that. Originally, we had talked about having a higher price point than the $7. COVID is a big part of that. We understand everybody. Everybody's got children, families to worry about. We totally understand that. That's why Phil and I sat down and we're not saying $7 a month because Phil and I are looking to get rich off of this. We have bills to pay to provide you guys what you're seeing tonight. We have, mics and computers and subscriptions to software that we need to make this work. So it's not something that we're just looking for to put in our money or put in our pockets and run away. It's helping pay for this process.
I can speak on my own personal thing. I mean, it takes me at least a good 11 to 12 hours or more to put together the Tape Never Lies each and every week. You think about that on top of having 4 kids, another job, and the shows you got to do. So it is a lot of work and time to put it out there for people's enjoyment. And really, ultimately, that's really where, people want circles and lines and this audio issue fixed. And it's like, wait a second, I'm doing all of this like on a phone to get it done and do it because of my time. So if you could find it in your heart, I know the amount of creative and fun and laughs and how many people and the views and the numbers. So it all leads to one thing. For $7 a month it is what it is at this point. That's where we're going. And to be clear, BHL and keeping it 100. We were going to put BHL behind patronage. So after the Bears game, only Patreon people would be able to watch Bears Hour live or at all. You would only see it if you were Patreon. And we rehuddled and rethought, and there's people, like Shane said, in COVID that need a break from reality, a place to vent, and they're coming to Shane and me. And how do we take that away? We don't. So we're not going to. We're going to add more creativity to the Patreon side. We're going to cut the tape, Draft Dr. Phil's Tape Never Lies, so you're not confused. The video series, my video breakdowns, are going to be shortened on the YouTube channel that you subscribe to. They're still going to be 10 minutes long or less, whatever. Could be a little more. The full version is going to go to Patreons only. So your $7 subscription is going to get you the full Tape Never Lies, whether it be 30 minutes, 26 minutes, 33 minutes, whatever it is, and then the extra focused player tape. So that's another 6-7 hours to do that. So really 19-20 hours a week doing video cut ups and that stuff and the shows. So that's what we're asking. It just, my wife said, don't be bashful. Keep it 100 like you do on your show. Tell them what you're doing. And all these people love this. Really tell them what you're doing. And that's really why we came tonight. Not to do a fucking commercial that you push 6 times to get it right. No, I'm going to face the music. Shayne's going to face the music. We're going to take every question you have. We're going to get the swearing out of the way. Never going to change. Going to be cussing. Going to bring it every time. We will do one show this year that if I swear, I have to get off the show for 10 minutes. We'll do something like that.
Wow.
We will do
I'm going to get to
challenge.
talk. I'm going to get to talk, you guys.
We'll do a challenge show to see if I can make it through the whole show without a swear. Heidi will be the judge who subscribed prior to Patreon, Heidi and Cherie. You guys are the reason why we're doing this to this extent. If you don't know the story of why we left the old network and came here, we're going to do a special show to Patreons called The Confessional. And we'll tell that whole story and break that down. So you'll get some gossip on that side. We might do other shows like what's your favorite streaming show and all this other stuff. So we're almost at 100. Look at
one
this,
of the things we talked about, Phil, is you and I talk every day, even while we're at our day jobs.
Right.
We will
record it.
Yeah, we're gonna tape a call, talk about it. We talk about stuff that we want to do for the show, things that are coming up, things that we saw in the game, things we may have missed. We have no issue. We keep it raw, we keep it honest, and we will bring that to you guys, and that will be part of the Patreon package. Is you guys will get to listen to behind the scenes phone calls that Phil and I will be raw and unedited, just like we are on air, and just take you behind the scenes a little bit. Listen, so I think that you guys will enjoy that. This
kind of comment right here, I see a lot, and deeper than that. I see people admit, well, our guest will I'll ask him about how he found us. And listen, my whole life, I've tried to always be truthful and make mistakes and, walk the walk, talk the talk. You got kids, you have to teach them. So I've always been someone who coached honestly and passionately and always thought the vulnerable side of you to a coach is
99. Who's going to be the magic 100, Phil?
23 cents. Not a bad deal. That's exactly it. Dino, your charge, he was asking, won't start until the first of the month. So essentially, everybody signing up right now to keep it 100 is getting the first weeks for free. And you can, if you don't like what you see till November 1st, you could back out. But I really know what we're going to bring to the table. I believe you're going to love and enjoy. And that's why we wanted to have this town hall type thing to answer all these questions. We always have to keep it real. Your views are diverse. You are smart enough to stay professional. I appreciate it, but I always keep it real. That's why I swear, because what do we do when we stub our toe? I swear. What do I do when I get fired up with the Bears? I swear. So I always wanted to keep that same transparency. That's what makes us different than going and watching ESPN or anybody else that won't keep it 100 and keep it a buck with you. That's why this show is going to be that. If you don't like swearing and that's really so hard for you to hear, and then please, that's fine. I don't take it personally. You don't have to be on, subscribe for the show. I always tell people there's a fast forward button if you don't like the intro. If you don't like the music, you could turn down your volume. These things you have control over. If you don't like it, that's fine. But the swearing, and the emotion is real. So why would I untap that? I wouldn't. So the confessional alone is worth it. Exactly. There you go. We're at a milestone
There
tonight.
you go, Phil. Read the bottom line there. Kim G. Goldsmith, Patreon member 100.
Kim G will get a t-shirt from Alex Acevedo. You've seen Acevedo wearing them. Shane, lift your shirt up. There it is. The Tape Never Lies Network. That's our first shirt, and we haven't even put it out yet. The team is working on shirts. You see these. Josh E. actually made this sign. See, Draft Dr. Phil behind me. I put it up. Those logos. We have plenty of things that we're going to be doing. But, yeah. Any other questions, you think? People that are excited about Patreon. This is something new for us, too. So, please realize, as we were talking with Jim in meetings prior to this show tonight, that there's going to be kinks that we're going to have to work out to bring you the best quality coverage whatsoever. That's why we wanted to put what I've been doing for the last 3-4 years. Obviously, I've been just follow the scroll on the bottom. thetapeneverlies.com, Dan. Take you right to patronage, hit join, and follow the directions. The Tape Never Lies that I've done for years, you know the story, that were deleted. Now we're rebuilding the library. You can go to our YouTube channel to see that is going to be condensed, and the full versions are going to be Patreon only. We're going to have a private Facebook group of tape heads or whatever. It's all 22 crew. You guys come up with some nicknames. Send them to Shane, me, Chris Sandlin, Jeremy Plashinsky, our ace, our boy Alex Acevedo. Come up with some creative names, Cars or Claudio, and we'll make that patronage page, truly what you guys are, Patreon-based fans for what we do here. So that'll happen. And then the app, you'll have a Patreon app. It'll explain everything. Everything will go there. You download the app, you'll get a notice if a new Draft Dr. Phil
it's
tape
Patreon, Patreon.
Exactly.
We'll add that right to the bottom because that's a lot of people think it's patron, but it's Patreon.
So anybody having any questions? I got about 5 or 6 questions. I know Shane hates this, but my music, I'm gonna remix a lot of my music that I have done that kind of disappeared. It never was used appropriately. I'll keep that $1 on the confession show, and we'll bring that to the forefront. We'll have my music there for Patreons, videos of the music, the Lock and Fora song, Bear Up, Bear Down, the intros here, Last Call, that song. Maybe we remix it. You're creative, and new songs that we're working on, like a Blame It on Phil and Shayne song. Remember Milli Vanilli?
Yeah.
Blame it on the rain. It was Blame It on Phil and Shayne. Yeah. Blame it. So that kind of fun stuff, obviously, in the off season.
There's a good one.
Yeah, my dad is going to be a part of the Patreon. Thank you, Jeff. I thought I said it, but again, I have to bring it back. My dad is going to be a part of the Patreon shows. So he is going to break down critical plays. Obviously, in the Tape Never Lies, I break down the big plethora. I don't put every goddamn play up there. I can't. But
do you want to announce the name, Phil? Give them a little behind the scenes.
The name of that show will be X's with the O's. The Toshins, X's, get it? My dad is already we're going to practice some more to get him, because he has an iPhone. I'm trying to get him a new Chromebook. But again, these are costs. So he can unmute and then talk over the video. Because of the application that we use, So he can't see, so he's trying to tap it on the phone. I go, you got to unmute to talk. Because I bought him one of those bases, Shane, that stick with a magnet so his phone will stick and it'll stay there and film and it looks good.
You want to address Cherie here and tell her about my pipes?
Shane is going
Underrated pipes.
Shane is going to be singing
as long as it's not
songs.
Bullshit Christmas music.
Are we going to do another Christmas album? Probably. And we're going to do a lot of stuff with you, the Patreon people. We're going to bring you on shows that we do for free, like Bears Hour Live. We're going to do that. And then we're going to bring you guys on Patreon shows. And we could break down things like if there's any kind of questions or differences, we can have the Shane versus Bear Truth 9 debate. Or Draft Dr. Phil versus whatever. I'm still trying to schedule. Shane has reached out to several PFF people to come face me and some Twitter tape heads that are misleading a narrative on David Montgomery. And that'll be Patreon debate because you know it's going to be fiery hot with me going up against somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. And you can fill in the ad-lib names there. I'm not saying anyone's name. But hopefully they come on the show. So you know me as the guy that unveiled Charles Leno. That's not the only thing I do. Bring it in. You're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to really learn as we go. So hopefully...
Chuck and Lydia, look down. TheTapeNeverLies.com. TheTapeNeverLies.com will link you directly to our TTNL Patreon page. Patreon page. Once you get there, it'll look like this. Actually, you got to take that banner down for me.
I can take it down for you, yes.
I got it. But yeah, once you get there, it'll look like this. And you just
banner up.
Click it. Yep. Click it, and it's a very easy process. We'll get you signed up, and Phil and I appreciate.
Just hit that join.
Yep.
And you fill it all out, you're good. Everything will go from there. I think there'll be no nudity. No. Those of you that just signed up,
there's going to be
thank you enough.
There's going to be a Barber After Dark show.
The Barber After Dark. We are going to do a wives show at some point. The Tape Never Lies wives. The wives of Tape Never Lies. It rhymes. Look, there's the barber. He's smiling. Look, he's smiling. We're going to go Are we using PayPal, Claudio? Put him up after every question. Ready? Claudio, are we going to go PayPal? Yeah. Hey, Claudio, is it $7 a month for PayPal? You fuck.
There he is.
That's what we're going to do. So you don't even have to pay. It's going to charge you at the first of the month. So if you like what you're seeing, and I'm just keeping this 100 with you. This week, everything is just like it's been. The Tape Never Lies will come out tomorrow or Wednesday, depending how I do tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. Wednesday's keeping it 100. Sunday after the Carolina game will be Bears Hour Live. If you're just tuning in, once again, Bears Hour Live, we've been saying for weeks, we've been warning everybody, no, this show's going to Patreon. Well, we had a meeting, we talked about it, and said we're not going to do that. We're going to keep that free with keeping it 100. The Tape Never Draft Dr. Phil's video series is going to be condensed on the YouTube channel. Patreon, you will get the full thing as well as the extra. You will also get the live show X's with the O's. You get a live Tape Never Lies breakdown with me and Shane. And there'll be pop-up shows all throughout the month, as well as other things like Zoom calls, Q&As, one play analysis, which is really cool. And any ideas that you as Patreons have or think you can we should do.
Just real quick, Phil. Toby had a question. Toby, you are on there. You're good to go, bro. You were one of the first.
Toby Hill, one of the first
Appreciate it.
dudes that signed up without this show. You signed up, Toby, and believe me, I see. Listen, what does it take to share, like on Twitter or Facebook? It takes like 2 seconds. If you really love the show, fuck a hater. Who gives a shit about somebody? Why you share? Do you want to do wise? We only get one life. If anything this month has taught me about life, it's too short. So all I'm saying is we're going to have fun. Shane and I, and that's who we want to roll with. People we know and love. Surround yourself with good people, like my dad always said and continues to say. That's what we're going to do. And I know I'm going to bring the Bears analysis and the tape study and everything that you guys even talk about onto the table. Hopefully it'll get to the point where they finally give me that press pass, Shane, and I'm in there asking the deep questions to Coach Nagy.
It's not even deep. It's a fucking legitimate question. Just call it that. That's all it is.
How is number 72 still starting?
Yeah.
That would be my first question. So I would ask him that. And if he'd stammer,
instead we get, oh, Coach, you lost one of your best players today to an injury. How do you feel about that? That's the shit we get from Chicago media. Russell Webster, welcome. There you go, bud. TapeNeverLies.com will link you directly to the TTNL Patreon page where you go there, click to join, set it up real quick. It's a real simple process, and we appreciate it. Hope you take the journey with us.
Well, thank you, Brother John Gray. I'm going to say this because it's been said to me many, many times, and I'm going to be vulnerable. I've said to my wife, she's like, why are you doing this? You're not getting paid? And then to come to find out somebody's taking money out of my family's pocket with the work that I do, it's disheartening. It puts you in a place of vulnerability that you can't even speak on. So then you get to the point where you pick yourself up off the fucking mat and you try to be better. So if we're going to this, and the hard work that you put into it, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. That's why we're going live to talk about it and not putting a little fucking commercial out there to join Patreon. I'd rather the interaction with the people that are going to support you and help you do the best you possibly can and even do better. Because when I know someone is believing in me, that just motivates me even more. And that is my truth. So when I saw the numbers and I'm like, listen, I didn't know how many numbers we get for Bears Hour Live, but 1,400 people live on YouTube with another 3,000 live viewers on Facebook watching a show, and now 11 or 12,000 views post. I'm not going to take that away from people and try to make money. This isn't what it is. Not for me. Now, the work that I put in, I'm being vulnerable. I'm being completely transparent. I could pull it up right here that I'm working on it right now. So people, the first time ever, we're going to do a behind the scenes. I did talk to Chris Sandlin because he was the first person. So I'm doing the Tape Never Lies right there, right now. Can you see what play that is? Look at me moving it. See it? That's Nick Foles throwing the little out to Anthony Miller to get that third down. I'm almost done with the video. Then I got to put the music to it and the ads and the narrate each and every one of them. Anyway, Patreon, you'll see what it goes behind the whole thing. Whether it be the Bears Hour Live show, that's dope. Thank you, Dominic. Or Jeff, or the video series. Jeff, you made me laugh during a serious part. I was getting emotional. Anyway, any other real talk, Shane, that I always forget shit. I was like, oh, I wanted to say
No,
this.
like I said, I just think it's important to, Jim was on here. You guys, I think, can see how eloquent Jim is, and this is a this is a guy that's probably got more money than us and everybody in the chat combined, and he's taking time out of his business. He talks about Phil and I working hard. There's not a harder working man than Jim Larrison. Phil and I have seen his schedule, and Phil and I looked at it. I'm like, what? Literally, there's like
he was on a phone call before.
Yeah, there's like 4-minute increments where he's running to go to a different Zoom meeting, and for him to take the time and show up for you guys tonight to explain where we're coming from, where he's coming from, what you guys should expect from us. Phil and I aren't going to stop working because you guys are paying $7 a month, and we don't want you guys to ever think that. The content is never going to go down. It's only going to go up. There's going to be more and more. The more Patreons we get, we're going to reinvest into this business that Phil and I have created, and it's just going to make everything that we do for you guys that much better. We realize we're not perfect. There's going to be bumps in the road, but we're going to be adding technology to what we do to get better and better there. Make our transitions seamless, and that's all a part of the process. So we totally appreciate you guys showing up to the show tonight.
Yeah, really.
Sorry there was no Bears talk, but even,
I see it in the chat, though.
We're hyped, but it's, when you start a business, there's business dealings that need to be taken care of, and we've been hit up for a lot of weeks now. When's Patreon coming? So we totally appreciate it. You guys showing up tonight, showing the support via Patreon. When I say it's humbling, it really is. I was scrolling all day today, and I'm trying to message everybody that has signed up that should show up, hopefully. I know I have some catching up to do, especially now because you guys have been so great during the show. But just know that Phil and I are dedicated to this. We couldn't be happier to have you guys be a part of this journey with us, because this is a passion for us. The Chicago Bears are a passion, and you guys are part of that. We love to provide content for you guys. That's right up with our love for the Bears. And I don't think I can say anything more than that, Phil. I'm excited about doing this show tonight. Excited that you were here with us. I'm excited you guys got to meet the man, the myth, the legend, Jim Larrison, our Yoko. And but you know what? It's Monday night, Wednesday night. You guys can find us on Shy City Sports, keeping it 100. We're going to be back to football. Can't wait. Matt Nagy, 10-day layoff with this team. Give you guys a little bit of football. Whenever they've had a little bit of a layoff, there's been an issue. So we're going to be right back at it and throwing down some truth bombs about this team, and hope that you guys are right there with us. Once this show ends, doesn't mean that the Patreon subscriptions should stop. Hopefully you guys can share it. If you're on Twitter, hashtag that you're a charter member of the Tape Never Lies Patreon page. We'll retweet that, spread the word. So you guys can help us out that way too. And Phil and I are really honored that you guys take the time out of your nights, your lives every single day to show up and listen to what we have to say. Our wives don't really like to listen to us too much, so knowing that we have a packed chat room each and every night of people that will listen to us, it's humbling.
Well, so a lot of you have been so humbling to me throughout the years when we didn't make this move. But like EJ said in his post, like, if you're going to hate on somebody that's trying to earn something for the amount of time, effort, and creativity, I know what I do. And it sounds harsh to people that don't like me. But people that do like me know that my confidence is the reason why there's a song or there's a tape to back up the truth about Leno, or the narrative on Khalil Mack and how much he's getting paid and he's worthless. Wait till you see this week's Tape Never Lies, when PFF says Khalil Mack had his worst game. I say he had his best fucking game. That's the reality of this network. It goes against the narrative. It goes against the let's just be the same. It comes from a very, very different place. It's unique. It can't be fucking copied. And that's confidence. If you don't have it in yourself, there's no Biggie. There's no Tupac. There's no J-Lo. There's no Eddie Murphy. There's no Joe Montana and down the freaking line. So we are who we are. Denny Green said it. I'll say it again. And I am not going to change. So this network, like the great Walter Payton, is going to run those hills when you're not looking. They're going to do everything in their power to think of something funny, because there's nobody more funny than Shane when it comes to thinking of ideas and planning. Now you add Cars
Fucking brilliant.
and Claudio and others to the equation, and merch, all of that stuff. And really, ultimately, I always talk about the sauce. I'll keep it at that. The tomatoes are you guys, the fans. You guys are the reason why we're even doing this and making this move. So I think together, like I would always, with every team, we didn't go everybody hands in, let's say team, let's say Trojans, let's say Bears. We don't do that. In my philosophy of football, we say together. So really, that's how we're going to be moving forward with everybody in Patreon. We're going to be doing it together. We're going to be listening to your opinions. We're going to be listening to your ideas, and we're going to implement them. We're not going to blow them off. I think Shane confronts everybody as well as I do on YouTube. I don't hide anywhere. I confront the haters. I confront the compliments, because we can't just focus on negativity. That's not this network either. We want to focus on positive as well. So I want to show great plays. Like Nick Foles played better than anybody thinks he did. And I'll show you that on the tape, because that's where the truth is told, on the tape. So we came in tonight. Alex, you're out. Peace. Peace, Alex. And if there's any other questions.
Alex was pissed because he said there was no breaking news. He showed up an hour and 27 minutes into the show.
Thanks, Alex. Anyway, we are together, and we will be together. The whole thing has been laid out. If you are just tuning in, it'll be uploaded to our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed there, please subscribe. This will also be on the podcast. I'll tell Steven and company over there to put this up, so people that listen to the podcast will also know about the Patreon move. If you have any questions, you can always DM me on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram right here. Let me get this off. Where is it? There you go. Phil_Toshin on Instagram. You can follow Shane at Wazram on Twitter. Always taking your DMs, your advice, football talk. You never really bother me. If I don't get to you right away, please know that I will, and Shane will get to you as soon as we possibly can. So I think we've talked it all, Shane. We've done it all.
Absolutely, man. It's a
There's
perfect place.
There'll be plenty of Leno, both tackles, just to tease you, did not play very well against Tampa. And we will see that when the tape Never Lies comes out, either tomorrow.
Let's give him a nugget, though. Who did play well and under somebody that a lot of Bears fans may not know. Phil and I hadn't talked about it yet.
Shane's telling me, hey, you know who played really well? And I'm literally here cutting the tape. By the way, this tape is going to be a long one, because I want you to see a lot of defense as well as offense this week. But one of the guys that really stood out was Shane's guy, Mario Edwards. Really under the radar showing up and showing out. But this is the kind of stuff, Q&A, after the Tape Never Lies was released, Patreons will be able to chit-chat with me. And that's another show idea that just popped into my head. When it's released, I'll go live, we'll talk about it in the evening, and we can have a Tape Never Lies Q&A. So those are the things that we're always doing off the rip, right, Shane? Never.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So anyway, number 97. Yep, that's Edwards. Mario Edwards, the Super Mario right now, playing his ass off. Is anything else?
No, we said it all, man.
Bullet's already signed up. That's my boy. Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo Bullets. He's already signed up.
Nice. Thank you, Bullets.
Anyway, guys, Wednesday night, let's just do a couple business things. Wednesday night, we'll be keeping it 100. If you don't know the show, every Wednesday night, sometimes 2-3 hour shows, trying to get through them with your guys, keeping it 100 like this. Oh yeah, Shane and Phil, always keeping it 100. Wednesday nights here on the Tape Never Lies Network, as well as Shy City Sports. And then after every Bears game, let's get this BHL promo.
It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet, bar none. It's Bears Hour Live immediately after each and every Bears game, with host Shane, the smartest man, and draft Dr. Phil Otoshan. Every Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, immediately after Bears games. Your guys, Draft Dr. Phil and Shane Marsaw, are live on Bears Hour Live. Subscribe to the show via the Tape Never Lies Network, which can be found on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch. It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet, Bears Hour Live.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, Bears Hour Live after every Bears game. Shane, 100 and something strong all night. Not even talking Bears football. We're talking business. We had the great Jim Larrison, our business manager, coming on. If you're just tuning in now, this show will be up on the podcast stream, as well as the YouTube channel and Facebook channel. You can rewatch the big news right there on the lower third of your screen, the tapeneverlies.com. Go directly there to subscribe and become a true 100 Crew Patreon member of the Tape Never Lies Network. That's been the story tonight. I appreciate all of you tuning in, chiming in, and really answering everybody's questions. Don't even hesitate. Either shout out, share it. The fact that you're a Patreon, you want to DM me, I have no problem with it. I love everybody. Claudio loves everybody. It's a great time to be a Chicago Bears fan, and hopefully there's a lot of things to be concerned about. We're going to get into that on Keeping It 100 this Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. East, 7:30 p.m. Central. And
look at you.
Brett Maley will be on the show with us, and we'll be breaking down and having a lot of fun. The regular dumbest tweets, bear up, bear down, and a bunch of other stuff that we're going to get into. Hopefully he gets physical this weekend. I can tell you there's some very head-scratching moments in this game that if you're a football coach and that's your tackle, I know Matt Nagy, and I'm teasing a little bit for Wednesday night show, stating that things are going to have to change on the offense, technical things, fundamental things. I'm wondering, is he talking about number 72? If he isn't, he's, going to McDonald's and ordering hot dogs.
Fetty talked about it today. You heard another offensive lineman mention the details today, so I think that's obviously been a focus. So but we're not going to get into football tonight. We're going to talk about that Wednesday. Yeah.
Love you guys. We end the show like this. Please, always bear down. Go over to the Patreon, sign up, let us know, let other people know about our network. Good night and God bless. Hopefully everybody's doing good in COVID and your families are well. And on Wednesday night, we'll talk more about that drama.
This has been a Shy City Sports presentation and a Tape Never Lies Network production. Keeping it 100. Thanks for tuning in to the Tape Never Lies